Welcome to the Two To Tango Show, where we feature the absolute best of Argentine tango and culture, as well as tango as a metaphor for harmonious and passionate relationships. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Two To Tango Show. I am your hostess with the mostest, Linda Sutton. And this evening, we have a rather centering segment. This evening, we are featuring Nigel Barnes, who is going to be sharing with us not only an insight into Tai Chi, but also the yin and yang forces of the universe. Welcome to the show, Nigel.
Glad to be here.
Pleasure
Thank you
to
for
have
having
you.
me. Thank you.
Multi-talented, multi-dimensional, and we're going to be featuring a number of your skills and gifts with us over this segment. But let's get right into it.
Okay.
Nigel Barnes, yin and yang. I love it. And you are Nigel Barnes of the Golden
Chen Tai Chi School.
Wonderful,
Yes,
wonderful,
yes.
wonderful. And you'll be sharing with us, working with one of your students or counterparts to do a little bit of demonstration.
Yes, yes.
Okay, getting into it, and please forgive my playful spirit because we're already into it, so we're just going to flow with it. Tai Chi. Some may not have only heard of it. Some may have only seen it in pharmaceutical commercials. Right. Some of them may think it's something else. Something is a martial arts. Something it's yoga. What is Tai Chi?
Well, Tai Chi is it is a martial arts. Okay. It was developed. Most accounts dated back to the 16th century, and it's a martial arts. It's an internal martial arts. And so by that, it really develops. It's not really how forceful you are or how powerful you are. It's more how you develop your inner self, how you develop your core. And so with that, it focuses a lot on the essence of our being. And so in that way, it's meditation and movement. And Harvard actually released a new study that calls it medication and movement because of its wondrous health benefits.
Wow, medication and movement. And would not have ever thought to put it like that, but that makes sense because it does have so many. Of course, we may focus on the spiritual and emotional and mental benefits of Tai Chi, but the physical ones as well. Speak to that.
Profound. They are profound, and there are various studies. Science is just now catching up to what the Tai Chi masters of old have known for so many centuries. And what is going on is they're finding that Tai Chi is beneficial for sleep disorders, beneficial for arthritis. In fact, I was just certified by the Arthritis Foundation a couple weeks ago as one of their instructors. And Tai Chi is huge for arthritis, its effects on the joints, you name it. It has a whole lot of different health benefits. There are numerous studies done on it.
Wonderful. And I love here on this show because we feature yoga, Tai Chi, dance as a way really for people to understand that there are activities that draw together their mind, their bodies, and their spirits. Now, of course, we're a tango show, so we talk a lot about partnerships.
Right.
But your conversation around Tai Chi, using Tai Chi to develop the inner self, I think is important because, of course, before you can go out into the world and interact with others, you really do have to have a strong sense of self or centering. So let's start there.
Exactly. Tai Chi is very centering, and what you'll hear is a term that I use a lot in class and a lot of Tai Chi instructors use is that of rooting. And what rooting does, it really connects you to the earth so that you're not this isolated life form walking upon the top of the planet, but you're actually gaining the same nurturing from the earth as, say, a tree does or plants, and that you're actually connected, and that helps to build your center. Your legs become very strong. They call that the earth. Your lower body would be considered the earth. Your upper body would be considered the heavens because it becomes very light, very ethereal, and you just are able to just flow with life in a way that most people cannot comprehend without having done it.
Wow, wow, loving it, loving. Now, the chi of it all in the Tai Chi, because when you talked about, you know, drawing from the earth and allowing things to flow through you, it immediately makes me think of this concept that I've heard in yoga and other movement forms of chi.
Right.
What is this elusive thing that people are talking about when they're talking about chi? Even though I feel it very tangibly when I'm doing it, when I'm hearing it described, but sometimes it kind of gets away from me. Chi,
Chi, it does have this this mysterious aura about it. The good news is that it's not, you know, as mystical as many people would perceive. Chi is actually life force energy. I call it myself the golden eternal elixir. And so what happens is, in fact, the whole Asian medical system is set up on our meridians, and these meridians flow throughout our body, and they really are channels for our energy, for our chi flow. And so what Tai Chi does is helps to open these meridians. It actually floods these meridians. They call it dredging, but it floods these meridians so that they're overflowing. So you can use the metaphor of a tire, and once a tire is deflated, you know, it's unable to move. And a lot of people walk around with that type of demeanor on a daily basis and aren't even aware of it. And so what Tai Chi does, it super inflates the tire so that you have too much air, and it just really makes life that much more beautiful. But Chi in general is just that essence that flows through our body and really gives us life and animates our being.
Gotcha. Now that makes sense to me. I guess I always try to, for the audience and for myself, try to create a visual for something to ground it for me. And whenever I think of Chi and I hear meridians, it makes me think of the nervous system. And so I'm like, okay, energy flowing through meridians, kind of like electricity flowing through my nervous system.
If you were touched by one of the masters who has an excess amount of chi that they've been cultivating for years, it would feel a lot
like an electrical shock. Okay,
it would
gotcha.
feel a lot like an electrical shock.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. It's making sense now. Now, of course, the playful nature of it, I want to transition to the yin and yang versions of the universe. But I do like to talk about it because, once again, kind of reconstituting in our minds what we understand Tai Chi to be as a martial art form. You know, I remember watching the Karate Kid, the first Karate Kid, and you know, you had Mr. Miyagi. He's like, wax on, wax off, paint the fence, sand the floor. And, you know, but many people still think of martial arts as primarily a fighting art. And when you first see Tai Chi, at least when I see it in the commercials and things, this kind of slow, fluid movement.
Very gentle and
exactly. Looks more like a dance to me than somebody that you can use to whoop up on somebody, so to speak. So let's talk about that. It's very gentle and flowing because it's cultivating what, if it's still a martial art?
Well, it's cultivating your awareness. It's cultivating your sensitivities to the different parts of your body. So when we move in Tai Chi, it's like when one thing moves, everything moves. So all of your body is moving together. And of course, the ancient masters, especially from my particular lineage, the Chen lineage, you know, they were known to be able to take on 100 people by themselves and be easily victorious. And they were escorts, a lot of them, as a profession for rich merchants to help them areas where there were infestations of bandits and Mongols and things like that. Nowadays, most people don't have that same type of that need for the martial aspects of it. So in the martial context, the best way I can explain that is that it does teach you how to become a warrior, but more so you're interested in conquering your lower nature. You're interested in conquering your insecurities, the obstacles in life. And as you learn the different movements, it is very graceful. You always begin learning very slow, very fluid. And what this does, it not only integrates the different aspects of your body, your mind, and your body as one, that they call it the E, or the intent. You really learn how to focus your intent as well as harmonize your body with that intent. And as you focus your intent, you're also harmonizing your life with that intent. You subconsciously are able to, as you learn the moves, break through different barriers that you don't even have to be aware of. A lot of people, even doing Tai Chi, have emotional responses or emotional releases as they break through different things that have been holding them back in life.
Wow. That's deep, because as you're talking, what it makes me think of is that, you know, perhaps maybe the battles or fights that we're having out in the world around us, whether arguments with our spouses or, you know, kind of tiffs with our children, or even as far as wars, are really more a reflection of the fact that we haven't kind of fought our internal demons and issues and such, that we have an inner peace, and therefore no need for that external conflict.
And that's interesting you said that, because a lot of Tai Chi is especially in the advanced stages where you learn to work with a partner. There's a lot of partner work called push hands, and that's like Tai Chi sparring, but in most cases, as most people experience here, it's very slow, very relaxing, but your partner will push you. And instead of tensing up and resisting, as most of us are trained to do, Tai Chi teaches you how to completely absorb and redirect that energy so that you're completely non-resistant. Like the winner, if, you know, in the case of, just for the viewers to understand, the you know, there are no winners or losers in push hands. You're both working together to help each other cultivate and become sensitive to each other, to relationships. So you learn the form in Tai Chi, and that's what you see people doing, real slow and fluid, to learn about yourself. You do push hands in Tai Chi to learn how to interact with others. And when somebody pushes you in life, you know, instead of becoming tense and attacking them, you just simply absorb it and redirect it. Yeah, and you just completely loosen up in life. It's wonderful.
Okay, take two on that one, because I want to make sure that we get that one, because, you know, I always talk with my couples, and when I'm, you know, speaking about the ideas that, you know, the issues in relationships are not when times are good.
Right.
The issues that show up in relationships are how you handle conflict, how you handle moments and times of disharmony. And of course, as they say, it not only takes two to tango, but unfortunately it takes two to fight, it takes two to have a war. And so this idea, when you're making it very clear that the intention is not to have tension, resist, fight, and attack, but the true power is taking whatever's coming at you, your partner's life circumstances, and taking it on, but redirecting it.
Redirecting it. Like
that.
you never, we never have direct, you never approach something directly. It always, if it's coming towards you, you completely absorb it. So a lot of people more familiar with Tai Chi will recall that it is a martial arts that uses the other person's energy against them. And so only by allowing that non-resistance, because it's not your force, we don't use muscles at all. The only muscles we use in Tai Chi, even in our punches or our kicks, are just to sustain the form of our body.
Okay.
And so you get to higher levels where you realize that the body is the form in Tai Chi. And so it's not really somebody attacking you at all. And if you just go with the flow, it's just like the changing of the seasons, which goes back into the yin and yang, which you were speaking of.
Go with the flow. I love it. You hear that, guys? We go with the flow. You don't fight, you go with the flow. I love it.
Right.
Okay, so you brought up the yin and yang forces of the universe. Of course, in tango, we're always talking about leading and following. We're talking about the dynamics of masculine and feminine force and roles in the dance. And of course, I always make sure that I make reference to the yin and yang, which to me represents the masculine and feminine force in the universe. But to me, from what I understand, which is not as much as what you understand, obviously, Tai Chi really does bring that to the forefront and cultivate those two dimensions within either a person or partners. Tell us more.
It does. In fact, most Tai Chi schools will have some form of the yin and yang symbol as their logo. And from the very beginning, you learn how to work with these seemingly polar opposites, but if you look within the yin and yang symbol, there are elements of each of the other within this opposite. And so it's constantly a like a ebb and flow. And so even like what you were saying with relationships, it brought to mind that it's not necessarily good times or